Hello, after the fact viewers. There's nobody here yet, but if you're viewing this after the fact, you are here. Welcome to this evening's workout. I apologize for the lighting. Man, it's pretty dismal. We just had a person join. Welcome, welcome. I was just apologizing for the lighting. If you live in the Bay Area or basically anywhere on the West Coast, you will know that the outdoors basically looks like the apocalypse right now. So for the first time ever, I have my shades completely open, all of my lights on, and clearly I'm still not in great lighting. I'm still in dark lighting. So this is the best I can do for this evening, what with the smoke situation. So we're just gonna make it work. We're gonna manage. It should still be fine for a workout. So for tonight's workout, we are still doing strength stabilization. So low weight, high reps. All you'll need is a pair of light hand weights or food cans. Got my usual soup cans here. Oh, this is gonna drive me crazy, but I know that there's nothing I can do to fix the lighting. It's just gonna be this way. Okay, we'll live with it. I'm gonna wait a couple more minutes waiting for anybody else to join, and then we will get started with our warm up. As always, if you have any questions or comments or concerns, please leave them in the chat. I can see it when I'm working out, so I'll know if somebody posts something in there and I can answer if needed. Hopefully everybody is doing okay wherever you are. I guess one good point is that the air quality is actually not terrible, which is surprising considering the way the sky looks right now. At least in my neighborhood, I'm kind of out towards the ocean, and so it's breathable. I have my window open and it's fine. So fingers crossed it stays that way. I can deal with the apocalyptic orange sky as long as I can breathe the air. I know a lot of people in Oregon are just being devastated right now. So times are tough, really, really tough. All right, we'll do one more minute. 5:31, yeah. Actually, you know what? Let's get started. It's 5:32. We're 2 minutes in. We'll get started with our usual warm-up. Back up a little so we have space. 10 circles back and 10 circles forward. All right, nice wide stance on the mat or whatever surface you have under your feet, and then coming down to touch the floor. If you cannot touch the floor, walk the legs out until you can, and we're going to do some thoracic rotations here. So just twisting up towards the sky. I feel this in my inner thighs too as a stretch because they're pretty tight. And it actually feels good. We're going to do 5 in each direction, 10 total. I just heard my hip pop. I felt it too. All right, staying in this nice wide stance, we're going to continue to stretch that inner thigh by coming down into a nice little lateral lunge, pressing back through the butt to keep the weight over the heel. And again, we'll do 5 on each side. If you have just joined us, I see other people have joined. I was apologizing for the lighting earlier. It's going to be dark. There's nothing I can do about it. The sky outside is very, very dark from smoke right now. And so the inside is dark. I've got every light on possible. All right, let's start our hip warm-up with some leg swings. If you need to hang on to something for balance, that's okay. Otherwise, just let them rip. 10 on each side. Apparently I need to balance. When you get to 10 on one side, switch to the other leg. Make sure the leg is relaxed. Don't try to control the swing. All right, knee pulls. Grabbing onto the knee, pulling in towards the chest, or pulling in towards whatever part of you can reach as you pull. We're doing 6 on each side. All right, things should be warm-ish right now. I'm not going to spend too much time on a warm-up, as always, because we have a lot of work to do. If you feel like you need to warm up more before these classes, I would encourage you to start before the class starts, because our warm-ups are pretty much usually just that. So we don't take a lot of time on the warm-up. Same with cool downs. We don't do a lot of cool down. Okay, so update to today's workout is that we are doing core first before we do anything else, which we don't usually do. But I decided to change it up a little and see if core feels better for all of you if you're doing it when you still have fresh energy before the workout starts. I know that's the case for me, but it's not always the case for everyone. We're going to try it tonight, and we're going to do the same format. So 3 exercises, 30 seconds per exercise, 3 rounds of each. We're going to start with some side planks. So either side can start, right or left. I'm going to start on the right side since that's the side facing the camera. Modifications available. We're going to be down on the elbow. If you want to be up on the hand, you can be. This bothers my wrist, so I don't do it that way. But if you're on your elbow's going to be right under the shoulder. Level 1, you've got your knees in line with your hips, and you're lifting up on your knees. Knees are bent, so your feet are kind of tucked behind you, and then you're holding your plank here. Level 2, you've got 1 foot in front, 1 foot behind, so you're kind of forming a tripod, a duopod, a 2-legged tripod, and then you are lifting yourself up like so. Level 3, feet are stacked, and you're lifting up with feet stacked. I'm going to be going with my feet stacked, but you can pick whichever level you would like and go with that. We are doing 30 seconds, so pick something that you can hold for the whole 30 seconds, please. All right, get ready, get in position. 3, 2, 1, and lift. Make sure the chest is staying open, so try not to curl the upper shoulder down. Make sure your hips and your knees and your ankles are all in one straight line. And don't let your head drop. Keep your head up. And breathe. 10 more seconds. Last 5. And 3, 2, 1, and relax. All right, we're going to go straight into a side plank on the left. No sense in taking a break when we can just switch sides, right? Right, okay. 30 seconds on the other side. Same modifications available. Pick your level. And 3, 2, 1, and plank. If the regular side plank is too easy for you, you can add a little dip down with the hip, down and up on repeat for the 30 seconds. Totally up to you. 10 more seconds. You should be feeling this on the oblique, on the underside. There's 3, 2, 1, and relax. All right. Back to the right side. I'm already getting warm. This is another nice thing about doing, and my pants are falling down, doing core first, is that working your core warms up your body very, very quickly. And so we'll get essentially double the muscle warmth that we would normally get before starting the main workout just by doing this ahead of time. Okay, get ready, back on the right side, and 3, 2, 1, go. Nice deep breaths. Don't stop breathing. It is very interesting to me how the inclination when doing hard work that requires more oxygen is often to not breathe or to hold one's breath. Seems very and not intuitive, unintuitive. 3, 2, 1, counterintuitive. That's the word I was looking for. It's like anti-intuitive, unintuitive, counterintuitive. All right, back to the left. We'll take a few seconds and then we're getting right into it. Get yourself positioned, elbow under the shoulder, or if you're up on your hand, hand under the shoulder. Just make sure the shoulder is supported. And 3, 2, 1, lift up. Halfway. And 3, 2, 1, relax. All right. We got one more round each side, if I'm counting correctly, which I often don't, but I believe I'm right this time. One more round. Relax for a couple seconds, and then we'll start on the right side. All right, long enough. 3, 2, 1, and lift. It is so very quiet in here. We got 10 more seconds. Last 5. And 3, 2, 1, and break. For those of you in the fiery areas, I don't know if you've experienced this. I should say the technically safe fiery areas, the smoky areas. But all day today, I just had this weird feeling that like time was standing still because it was dark all day. Like there was no change in the light up until about an hour ago, and now it's kind of light. But yeah, it was just like pre-dawn. All right, last round on the left. Pre-dawn kind of light all day. All the street lights stayed on. And it just felt like this weird, like purgatory, no time zone where nothing was right, nothing was normal, which is basically this entire year so far, let's be honest. 5 more seconds. And 3, 2, 1, and relax. Okay, so that counts for our first 2 exercises, right? Because we did unilateral sides. So now we just have one more for the core. Easy peasy. We're going to be doing some V-tucks, which is one of my absolute favorite core exercises. Not everybody agrees with that, but I love them. So if you have had a lot of water to drink, these might feel a little bit uncomfortable, but we can modify. So just because you're constantly like squeezing your stomach in and out, essentially. So a V-tuck, we're basically starting with the heels up, slight lean back, extending all the way out, and then tucking in. You can grab the knees if you want. I'm going to grab my knees, and then extend out, tuck up, extend out, tuck up, etc. So if this does not feel okay for you, your modification is going to be some double leg extensions. So on the back, you can either have your head up and shoulders up, or you can relax your head down, and you're just going to be extending legs out, tucking them back in, extend out, and tuck back in. Either way, we're going for 30 seconds, and we're going to do 3 rounds. So pick your preference, pick your progression, and stick with that. Try to challenge yourself a little bit, just a little bit. All right, in 3, 2, 1, 30 seconds on the clock, and good. Every time I straighten my legs, my knees pop. I'm turning 33 in 2 weeks, and I feel like this year I've been feeling my age for the first time in like a long time. And break. I need a sip of water. Grab water whenever you need it. It's very casual. Because it's virtual, I can't see you. I don't know what you're doing. You can take a drink of water in the middle of an exercise. You can take it whenever you darn well please. So I encourage you to stay hydrated and don't worry about what's going on my end. Okay, we're going into 2 more rounds of that. Round 2, and get in position. And 3, 2, 1. Oops. There we go. Go. I don't know why I like this exercise so much. There's something very satisfying about it. And it's kind of fun. Just like the little rock and tuck. And 3, 2, 1. We'll squeak in 1 more. Done. All right. 30 seconds to rest, and then we'll do 1 more set. And then we move into the main portion of the workout. And you don't even have to think about doing core at the end, because your core is already done. It somehow feels more efficient, even though it's the exact same amount of time for the whole workout. It feels like less. That could just be me. All right, go ahead and get in position in 3, 2, 1. Last round, and go. Again, remember your breath. Try to breathe out as you tuck up. Almost there, less than 10 seconds. There's 3, 2, 1. 1 more for good measure, and done. Alrighty. Excellent work. Again, I can't see you, but I know you did a great job. Just because you're here in the first place, and that's what matters. Okay, so today's workout is starting with some glute work. We're going to do some donkey kicks down on the mat. I'm going to take another little drink here before we get started. We're starting easy. You'll be happy to know. We're starting hands and knees. Knees right into the hips, hands right into the shoulders. And with the knees staying bent all on one side, we're going to be kicking up towards the ceiling. Not, you don't want to like actually kick. There doesn't need to be momentum behind it. Ideally, you want some degree of muscle control. What you don't want to happen is for your lower back to sink way down. So try to keep that pelvis. Actually, I'll turn to the side. I'm sorry, it's so dark, you can't see me. So instead of letting the lower back sink down and losing all of your core control, tuck your butt under and then try to keep that as you press up. So you should feel this in your gluteus. We're going for 15 on each side. Don't let the head drop. Hands right under the shoulders. Everything lined up and in control. And whenever you're ready, you are counting your own reps so that you're not held to any particular pace on my end. And go ahead and get started on your 15. Make sure your foot is staying flexed, your ankle staying flexed, so the whole sole of your foot should be heading up towards the ceiling. The toes should not be pointed. When you get to 15 on both sides, take a little rest. I'm going to be timing 30 seconds of rest for myself. You can take however long a rest you want. Again, this is your workout. This is your time. So if you feel like you need more rest time, take it. If you feel like you don't need that much rest time, take less. We're doing 3 sets of these. So if you want to get started on your second set ahead of time or a little bit later, just know that we're going to end up doing 3 sets before we move on to the next one. 30 seconds is generally my preferred rest time, but it is not everybody's preferred rest time. Okay, round 2 for me. Either leg can start. Don't forget your breath. If you feel this in your lower back, that is a really good indication that your lower back is arched and that you have lost your core. So make sure you are tucking under through the butt and engaging that core. Really, really brace to make sure that your lower back is supported and it's your glutes that are getting the work. You should feel this like in essentially like the main meat of your butt, your gluteus maximus. It's working more than just the gluteus maximus, but when you feel the contraction as you lift, it's happening in like the primary peach, if you will. I need water. We got one more set. Again, I'm timing 30 seconds of rest for myself, but you can do whatever you want. And then we'll move on to the next great exercise, which everybody's gonna love so much. We haven't done this in a long time. Last one. All right, 15 on each side. You might wonder why we always start with glute exercises. The answer is activating the glutes before the rest of the workout is a really good idea, just to make sure that they are firing on all cylinders and actually supporting your lower back, supporting your pelvis, doing the work that they should actually be doing and not being like lazy glutes. Especially if we're sitting all day, the glutes can get really weak. So we're waking them up, reminding them what it feels like to be alive. All right, when you get to 15 on the other side, take a wee break. All right, for the next lower body exercise, official name of these, surrenders. I hate that name. I call them kneeling up downs or just up downs. You will want some kind of padding for your knees. I usually fold my mat back so that I have like double mat width for this one, because we're basically going to be going from kneeling to standing over and over and over again. And it is some degree of wear and tear on the knees. So definitely get some padding. If you want to go as thick as a pillow, that's fine. Just make sure it's not going to tangle in your feet. You'll see as I demo as you stand up. If you have like a rug or a towel, anything that you can put, like half an inch or more of padding. Or if you have just like mega knees that can withstand anything, don't worry about it. Or if you have knee pads, you can also wear knee pads. Okay, so 2 levels to this. Level 1, if you haven't done these before, or if you're just getting into them, you're going to be placing 1 foot forward, foot solidly under the knee, and coming all the way up to standing, and then back down, same foot forward, all the way up to standing, back down, 10, and then switch sides, leading with the other leg, all the way up to standing. Now, the level up from that, if these feel comfortable for you, is to not come all the way up to standing, so you're going to maintain a little bit of a squat, coming up, keeping the legs bent as you come back down, coming up, legs bent, come back down. 10 on one side, 10 on the other. So no matter what level you're doing, we're doing 10 on each side. Again, you're counting for yourself. This one should get the heart rate and the quads. All right, let's do it. Either leg can start, doesn't matter. I'm going to start on the right side, but it really doesn't make much difference. Shoulders stay open, head stays up. Try not to look at the ground as you're standing up. Keep everything good posture, open to the world. All right, whenever you're ready, go ahead and get started. Again, speed does not matter. This is not a race. Form always comes first. Always, always, always. You get to listen to the sound of my sweaty feet sticking to my linoleum floor. Unless you have music on, which I certainly hope you do. When you get to 10 on one side, you're going to switch sides and do 10 on the other. You can also alternate sides. You don't always have to lead with the same leg as long as you're doing 10 per side. It really doesn't matter. It gives the legs a little break to alternate. So if that feels better for you, it is an option. When you get to 10 on the other side, you're going to take a break. And breathe. I'm coming up off my knees to relieve them a little bit. My quads are feeling that for sure. 30 seconds on the clock. A little rest. Also, if you came in after I mentioned it, we'll need 2 light hand weights. On hand, I have 2 food cans. They're about a pound each. So anything in that range is fine. So less than 5 pounds you'll want. Okay. Coming up on round 2. I'm going to lead with my left leg this time, just to keep it interesting. Because, you know, anything to keep quarantine interesting. So 10 on each side. Whenever you're ready. Make sure you're pressing up through the heel and not the toe. Almost there. Make sure you're breathing. I'm on my last 3. I would guess you are somewhere in that vicinity when you get to your last one. Take a break. Heart rate is pounding. Where are we at? Oh, really? Okay. It's not that high. It just feels loud. Loud does not equal fast. We've got one more set of those, and then we're moving into something a little bit more balance focused. Balance and stabilization for your hamstrings and your glutes and your calves and your back and your core. It's a great functional movement. Okay, going into our last set of these up downs. Whenever you're ready, last 20, 10 on each side. When you get to a 10 on one side, you're going to switch and finish out your 10 on the other side. My quads are feeling this. You can tell because I slowed down. Also, these don't have to be graceful. Don't try to make them graceful. That can come later. All right, when you finish your 10 and 10, take a little rest. I am sweating. So happy that I can have my window open right now. All right, we're gonna be doing some single leg deadlifts next. So because we don't have heavy weights to work with, or I should say you might have them, but we are not working with heavy weights. This becomes so much more focused on balance and form. I want you to put all of your brain, mind, body connection into thinking about your balance and form because you're not dealing with much weight. We're just going to be using our uber light hand weights, which it's basically just like having really heavy hands. Like it's not going to make that much difference to the actual strength of the exercise. So for those of you who haven't done single leg deadlifts before, the main goal here is to keep the back straight and keep the work in the glutes and the hips. Trying to see, I wish it wasn't so dark, I'm sorry. But I think you can kind of see from this angle. You're hinging forward and reaching towards like mid-shin area. For this, we are not looking for like a way down, like touch the toe, round back kind of situation. You can see how my back is staying totally flat. As I come down, the weights are in really close to the leg, so you are basically touching the leg. At the bottom of the movement, the back is parallel to the ground. The knee is directly in line over the ankle, and then pressing up through the heel. From the front, what you don't want to happen is for your hip, I can't even do it, but this is a thing that happens. For your hip to open out and tilt as you come down. You want to stay totally square to the front as you come forward. And you don't want to lose control of your shoulders by losing the engagement of your shoulder blades. So if you lost control, it would look like this. See how the shoulders are way far forward and rounded? If you engage your shoulder blades, immediately the back flattens out. So super important. This one, you will feel in your lower back a little bit, and that is okay. It is working your lower back. It's working your core. It's working your quads. It's working your hamstrings, your glutes, your calves, your tibialis on the front of your shin. It's working so many things. It's also working your shoulder blades because you're keeping them engaged the whole time. Last thing, head position. Don't let the head drop. So as you come down, none of this, in line with the spine. One straight line. Okay, I'm going to shut up now. We're going to do 12 on each side. Take these slow, focus on form. Do not let that knee come forward. You are not coming down here. Ouch, that hurts the ankle. You are pushing back through the hips, and it should feel like a very, very solid stretch through the hamstrings. All right, 12 on each side whenever you're ready. And go. You can tap the balancing foot down in between, or you can keep it hovering. I like to keep it hovering for a little extra challenge, but that is me. See, because I'm almost falling, because I'm trying to talk and do this at the same time, which I shouldn't be doing, but you can tap the foot down if you need to. I encourage you to try with just the balance though, just to see if you can do it, because I feel like to a client, actually no, I've had one client ever out of probably 50 clients that has said they have good balance. Everybody else is like, oh no, my balance is terrible. And it's not. Like your perception of your own balance is usually much, much different than the reality, and the reality, different from the reality. And the reality is usually that your balance is pretty good. I forgot to count, but I think that's 12. Switching to the other leg. When you get to 12 on one side, really solid stretch through that hammy, which you will get again from pushing back through the glute and the hip and not pushing forward through the knee. If you feel comfortable and have access to a mirror and you want to do these in front of a mirror, it can really, really help. I hate working out in front of mirrors, but for deadlifts and single leg deadlifts specifically, I almost always spot myself. Well, now I don't, but in working on these, I would always spot myself to make sure the form was accurate, and it really does help. I feel like I'm talking a lot, but I have one more thing to say. I'm taking a break so I can talk. In terms of like spotting in a mirror, it's very, very often that, again, if your mind-body connection, like your brain to muscle connection, is not as honed as it could be, which working out on a regular basis does, it really, really makes that connection solid, and it forms new connections in the process. But anyway, your perception of where your body and your muscles are in space can be, again, very different from reality. So if you work at a desk all day, what I will often see people is like what they feel is standing up straight is more like this, and this feels like overextension almost. So that's where having a mirror comes in handy, because you might feel like your back is flat as you come down on these, and in reality, it's very possible that your shoulders are rounding forward. So mirrors help. Other people watching you helps if that feels comfortable. If not, don't worry about it. We're going into our next round when you're ready. And again, we are not trying to touch the toe on these. We're aiming for middle of the shin just until the back is parallel to the floor. I'm gonna fall. No, I'm not. It really helps to pick a spot on the floor to just stare at, like ballerinas spotting or dancers spotting. Just keep your eye focused on that point, and it will help keep your balance, and it will help you keep your head from moving all over the place too. So it'll keep your neck nice and lined up with your spine. Okay. When you get to 12 on one side, switch to the other. Oh, that hamstring is tight. Eek. When you get to 12 on the other side, take a little break. All right. A wee breather, 30 seconds. We've got another heavy leg day today, so we've got one more for the legs after this one. I like to do that every once in a while, actually more so lately. Just because it's fun. Give the legs a little bit more work to do. They can handle it. You're strong. Okay. Heading into our last round of single leg deadlifts. Either side can start. 3, 2, 1, and whenever you're ready, go. When you get your 12 on one side, switch over to the other. All right. And you don't have to lift your legs super high. This is what's comfortable for me. This is eventually what height you're aiming for. But if you want to leave your leg like low or even toe touching the ground, you can do that as you work up towards the bigger lift. Ooh, lost my balance. Got it back. Don't mind me. Please continue. And when you hit your 12th, take a break. All right, last one. Easy peasy. Body weight squats. 3 sets of 15. No sweat. My knees have been making an awful lot of noise lately, as I mentioned, so I take my squats a little bit wider than shoulder width because the wider they are, the less my knees make noise. But you can have whatever width squat you want. You want at least between hip and shoulder width. I would avoid anything too much narrower because generally that starts messing with form a little bit. And yeah, standard squat, sitting back and down over the heels, down the side, coming down, try to keep the chest nice and open. Try not to tip forward into the squat. Let the knees come forward as long as they're not coming past the toes. They can come forward and then squeezing the glutes on the way up. Shoulders back. 15. No big deal. Whenever you're ready, let's get into it. No weights on these, so they should feel easy peasy. Ooh, big knee crunch. All right, when you get to 15, take a break. I'm timing 30 seconds on my stopwatch. You can time whatever you please. And then we're heading into round 2. This is the last one for the legs, by the way. They can chill after this. All right. Get ready for your second set when you're ready. Again, if you need a longer rest break, please don't hesitate to take one. We're not held to any kind of timing here. So in the virtual world, everything goes. Or anything goes. That's the musical. When you get to 15, take a break. We're almost there, sort of. But as I said, you don't have to do core at the end. So this should feel extra short because basically, once we're done with the arms, we're done. That's it. Speedy McGee. On your rest breaks, I would highly recommend that you don't stop moving completely, even if you just take like a slow lap around the room. All right, last round of squats. It'll help keep your muscles warm and help keep the oxygen circulating. All right, here we go. When you get to 15, take a break. Yeah, take a breather. Take a minute. We're going to be doing push-ups for the arms, or for the upper body, I should say. It's more than just arms. So we do these every single week. For returning peeps, this should be no new territory. Multiple levels to the push-up, but form is the same for all of them. So I'm going to be taking these on my toes, but you can take these. I feel like for the people who come every week, I sound like a broken record. Say this every week. You can take them on the counter. You can take them on the wall. You can do these on the edge of your sofa, your bed, coffee table, anything that's stable. You can do them on your knees or on your toes. Regardless of what your hands are anchored on, the form is the same. So, hands slightly wider than shoulder width apart, and just about directly under the shoulders, just slightly forward. Your hips are tucked under. So think about squeezing the glutes and engaging the core, kind of like you're crunching under through the core, and maintaining that throughout. And then as you come down into the push-up, your elbows are not going out, they're going back at a 45-degree angle. So if you're looking from the front, they're coming back here. They're not going out this way. I can't even do it because my wrists don't want to. It's so painful. Yeah, these are not like wide up here. Incorrect. Here and down. If you want to focus more on the triceps, you can take them super narrow, but they're going to be a lot harder. Focusing more on the chest and the shoulders, you're going to be at 45 degrees, and we are never, ever going to be out here because that's just no good. No good. Don't want to do that to the shoulders. I don't want to do that to my shoulders. You can do as you please with your shoulders. We're going for 10. I'm going for 10. If push-ups are very easy for you, then you can do more. If push-ups are really hard for you, you can do less. But I would try to aim for 10 and pick an anchor point for the hands that allows you to do 10 comfortably. All right. Without further ado, since I could apparently talk all day if I needed to, let's get into our first set. Don't let the head drop. So the head, again, and neck should be in line with the spine. Whew. When you get to 10, take a break. I'm timing for 40 seconds between push-up sets because for me, my shoulders take longer to recover. Previous injury on the left side, so I give myself a little bit of extra rest time. And because you're in my class, you automatically get to watch me take an extra 10 seconds of rest time. But if you want to start back in sooner, please do. Don't feel like you have to wait for me. And again, if you want to take longer, please do. All right, going for my second set. Second set done, one more to go. Think about exhaling on the way up. So as you're coming up out of your push-up, you can get like a little bit angry at the ground and think about shoving the ground away from you. It's easier to think about it that way than it is to think about like, oh, I have to push my body weight up. So yeah, I always think about like pushing the ground away. And that gives you a little bit more force and a little bit more foundation, or whatever you're on. If you're on the wall, counter, couch, whatever, you still the same thing. Just push the surface away rather than thinking about pushing yourself up from the surface. If that makes sense. Makes sense to me. Okay, last one. You have got this. It's going to be spectacular because then you don't have to do any more after this. Ooh, I lost some depth, but that's okay. Ooh, my goodness. Trainer confession. Push-ups are one thing that I never get better at. Once I got to the point where I could do 3 sets of 10, no matter how much I train them or do variations or anything, I've never been able to do more than 3 sets of 10. It's interesting. It's interesting. My body just doesn't want to do it. All right. Next up, we're doing some YWs, another old favorite that we haven't done in a little while, I would say. We actually did these in my first ever virtual class. We're going to have a slight bend forward again, thinking about keeping the back nice and flat. So pressing back through the hips. If you can see, my knees are not coming forward. They're staying over my ankles, but not locking out. So a little bit of relaxed knee. Coming forward, back is flat. Lifting up through the arms into a Y, pulling down, squeezing the shoulder blades into a W, straight back up to the Y, pull down to the W. From the front, Y, pull down W. See? W. Y, W. What you don't want to do is straight up. You want to make sure that you've got that sort of V shape. It's technically called a Y. And then pulling down to the W up. If you want to add your cans on this one, or your light hand weights, you can try that. I'm going to try it. Not confident that I'll be able to get through the whole set with them, but I'm going to try it. We are aiming for 12 to 15. 12 if you're using hand weights, 15 if you're using just your body weight. Hands are, like palms are facing each other, up into the Y, and then palms are coming down towards the floor in your W. All right, let's get to it. 12 or 15, and whenever you're ready, go. Don't let your head drop. Core engaged, glutes engaged. Really squeeze those shoulder blades. I decided I'm going for 15 because 12 is too easy. All right. You know, that actually makes me feel really good. I was just complaining about how my push-ups don't make progress, but that's the first time I've been able to do those with hand weights and not feel fatigued in my shoulders. Progress is fantastic. Oh, I forgot to set my rest timer, but we'll do like 10 more seconds, and then I'm going to get into my second set of those. Oh, one more note on these. As you're lifting your arms up, you want to make sure that your shoulders are not coming up around the ears, and specifically your upper traps, which is like these little nuggets up by your neck here. So you don't want to lift here. You want to keep the shoulders down. And what that is working is as you lift, all of the work is happening in your shoulder blades and the muscles that control your shoulder blades. Basically what that comes down to is this is really good for posture. So don't add neck tension unnecessarily. All right, round 2, when you're ready. Don't forget to breathe. And when you hit 15 or 12, whatever you're doing, take a break. All right, timing 30 seconds. I felt that one a little bit more. You'll definitely feel this one in the shoulders, but you should not feel it up in the neck. You should feel it shoulders, like right here, and then you should feel it back here as you squeeze your shoulder blades together. If you're feeling it in your upper traps and your neck area, that means you are tensing as you raise. And if you're tensing as you raise and you have hand weights, ditch the hand weights, do this body weight. If you're already doing body weight and you're tensing, decrease the reps and really focus on just that movement without punching through the shoulders. Okay, last one. Whenever you're ready, core engaged, glutes engaged, and go. When you get to 12 or 15, take a break. The last one we're doing is for the shoulders. I'm actually going to demat this area here. Don't need this anymore. All right. Last one is for the shoulders. So we're doing a combination of a lateral to front shoulder raise. That is exactly what it sounds like. Light hand weights or cans in hand. You are lifting out to the side, up to the front. That's 1 rep. Out to the side, up to the front. That's 2 reps. So each combo is 1. From the side, what you don't want happening, well, lateral raise, pretty self-explanatory. Front raise, do not round the shoulders. Keep the shoulder blades engaged. Out, up. We're doing 10, so 10 of each, 20 total movements, but 10 reps. Yeah, okay. Let's do it. Whenever you're ready, go for it. All right, I'm doing 24. This is too easy. But you can do however many you want. All right, take a break. That is a little bit too easy, but just too easy for me. Don't feel like you have to modify because I'm modifying. We got 2 more rounds of that and then we're done. A little cool down and you'll be free to enjoy the rest of your smoky evening if you're on the West Coast. Oh, it's seriously not to get all dark, but feels like the apocalypse. Just saying. Just saying. Oh, all right, round 2. Sorry, that got dark. We're gonna be fine. We're gonna be okay. Make sure you're not locking out your elbows, so there should be gentle relaxation in that joint. No unnecessary stress. All right, round 2 done. Ooh, sorry, we're going a little bit over time. I usually say like an hour, but you know, if you have somewhere to be, you can skip the cool down, that's fine. Cool down is not as important as the warm-up. All right, we're going for one more set of these whenever you're ready. And when you're done, you're done. That's it, folks. If you need to skedaddle, you can skedaddle. Otherwise, we're going to be doing a little bit of a cool down. So if you need to hang on to something for balance, go for it. We're going to be starting with a quad stretch, grabbing onto the ankle, pulling the heel in towards the glute. Make sure the knees are lined up. And you're just hanging out here for a few seconds. Also, I didn't mention this at the beginning of the workout, but all of my live stream classes, any of my classes basically, are on a donation basis. And at least for now, while I'm stable, I'm passing the proceeds on to organizations that need them more. Other leg, grabbing the ankle, pulling that heel in towards the glute. So any donations from tonight's class are going towards Sister Song, which is a reproductive justice organization for the Black, Indigenous, women of color community. And they do pretty awesome work. So anything made tonight will be going to them. All right. For the arms, shoulders especially, clasping the hands behind the back, pulling back to open up the chest. It's one time where it's really okay to arch the back, really feel a stretch to the fronts of the shoulders and your pecs, aka your chest. And then if it feels all right, come on down into a forward fold, release the lower back and let the arms just hang over the head. Keep breathing. Let all of the blood rush to your face. And then release the arms. A couple little neck circles. And then rolling it up. All right, stretching out the backs of the shoulders. Hook right behind the elbow. Keep a little bit of bend in the elbow. And then pull across the body to stretch the back of the arm. Or the back of the shoulder, rather. It's going to be a really quick cool down tonight. This is going to be our last stretch. If you feel like you need to stretch more after the fact, please do. Go with what feels right for you. We're going to do the other side, hooking right above the elbow, and then just gently pulling across to get that stretch from the back of the shoulder. Oh, all right. We're going to call it an evening. Call it done. As always, oh, the lighting is so terrible. It's so grainy. I'm sorry. But as always, those of you who show up to the live stream, I really appreciate it. It makes me really happy to, I can't see your faces, but to know that there are people here working out with me. It's great. Workout schedule for now, same as always, Wednesday nights, 5:30 Pacific time. And then I post new low impact cardio videos every weekend. I try to get them up on Saturdays. If you have requests for videos, you can put it in the comments. Please like and subscribe, as the influencers say. And give me a follow on Instagram too. I have @buildingmight is my Instagram, and I would love to see your faces there. I think most people who come here know about my Instagram, but gotta plug it anyway. Hopefully I will see you all next week. Please take care of yourselves. Stay safe, stay healthy. If you're on the West Coast, keep your lungs full of clean air. Don't open your windows if it's smoky outside. We'll get through it. It'll be fine. It's gonna be okay. Wash your hands, eat some dinner. That's it. Good night.